Reset Podcast. And now your host, Jake Naraki.
What is going on, Reset Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Operation Self Reset. I am Jacob Naraki. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode to kind of do a year in review. That's right. Today we don't have an interviewer. I am going to be interviewing myself. I guess we'll go with that. But it's more about why I started this project. You know, currently this is episode number 50, and it kind of got delayed. I was expecting to do episode 50 right at the 1 year mark on May 10th, but as you can see, it's already May 27th, and you'll be listening to this on May 28th of 2014. So a little date stamp on this episode. But I want to walk you through the paces of the reasoning for Operation Self Reset to give you a background, and maybe you have or have not heard the first episode of the reasoning why I started this podcast, the meaning behind it, and why I believe that this is truly something special and unique to you guys, the listeners. So I want to start off this story kind of about why did I start a podcast? I'm a normal guy. I'm not an author yet. I'm actually writing a book, which is crazy to even think about or even to say. But I didn't have a Facebook following. I'm not big on YouTube. I have no real ground to stand on. I've done some previous online stuff before, but never to this degree, never to really putting myself out there to allow to hear, or for you guys to hear my voice. I was not present online really. I mean, of course, I had my own Facebook profile, but that was more for work, friends, stuff like that. So when it came to saying to myself, I'm going to start a podcast, I really don't know where in the reasoning behind it. I knew I just wanted to start it. And that was because I believed in myself that I wanted to share with the world my interests, my ideas, my enthusiasm, my motivation, my inspiration to help you guys along your journey. I understand how challenging life is. I'm not a guru in any aspect. I don't have a degree in life. I don't have a degree in happiness or success or anything like that, but I can suggest simple techniques and ways that I have learned throughout the course of my life to help improve yours. And that's the basis behind this podcast. As you know, I interview a lot of different people because I believe every single person, even you included, the person that's listening to this right now, you have a story within. You have gone through something terrible, just heartbreaking, something that you would pull your hair out again if it happened to you, but yet you have come through it. It might be financially, it might be a family member passing, it might be something very terrific in your own life personally that you don't even want to share with anybody, and you even still hold to this day within. So when it came to identifying why I started this podcast, it was basically brought on by a couple of things. Number one, I was going through some financial difficulty with my buildings. I own 2 duplexes. They were going through some turmoil, and I was kind of having a rough time thinking to myself, my gosh, I feel like my life at that moment was kind of collapsing around me. And then a few months later, my wife told me we were pregnant. And a couple of people actually have ridiculed me because of, oh, Jake, you got properties and that's not struggling. You should come into my life. You should hear my story and all that stuff. And I'm not saying my story is unique and terrible and, oh my gosh, I'm sobbing and, poor Jake. I'm not expecting that out of you, but I'm telling you the reasoning where I got the energy and the idea and the motivation behind this project to start pushing it forward. And so when my wife told me that we were pregnant, at first I was not thrilled. I was not the happiest boy in camp. But as time progressed, I was starting to realize, wow, this is a great opportunity for myself to start to do something that I've always thought of doing. And that thing was motivational speaking. I want to be a presenter. I want to help people get motivated in life and understand life is challenging and how can we overcome obstacles that get in our way. And so from there, I knew podcasting would be an avenue to start the ball rolling. There's a famous line out there that says, you don't have to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. And it's very true. And if you reflect and if you go back to episode number 1, which if you want to hear somebody talk into a mic very poorly, that was me. I had no experience broadcasting. I had no experience talking on a microphone or even feeling comfortable sitting in a chair, looking at a computer, watching the bounces of my voice go through this recording device. Truly, I have no previous experience, but I knew if I wanted to be a motivational speaker, which I always wanted to be when I was younger, I needed to start somewhere, and I realized podcasting was a great avenue to start. And so on May 10th of 2013, I launched the podcast. That was the day my son was born. And I kind of did a vow to myself to continue this project, even though I know I'm going to lose energy, and I know that I'm not going to be as thrilled as I was when I first started. And for yourself, it's like getting on a new diet. It's trying something for the first time. You know, it's buying that jet ski or that those skis, because we just bought some new skis up north. And at first you're excited to try them on. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to try them on. And you go around the lake a couple times. Woo, this is awesome. Oh my gosh. And then next weekend comes, you maybe go on it once. And then the following weekends, you kind of lose interest and whatnot. And I think that happens in everybody's life. You know, you get excited about things. Christmas morning comes. Oh my gosh, look at all these new, bright, shiny toys. And then 2 months later, you could care less. You know, the thing's broken in the corner. You're missing pieces. And it doesn't really interest you anymore. And I think that's life. You know, that's the way our life unfolds in front of us. So I kind of did a vow to myself, no matter what, I'm going to continue this project. And when I first started off, I did a podcast every couple of weeks. There was no method to the madness. It kind of just came out whenever they came out. And I realized over time, I should try to be a little more specific on when these podcasts come out. And to this day now, I have 2 podcasts that come out twice a week. I have a Motivational Minute on Monday, and now I have the regular Operation Self Reset podcast that comes out on Wednesdays, which you're listening to. So to kind of do a reflect, and I'm kind of going down this rabbit hole because this is unscripted. And as you may or may not know from my style and approach, I am very unscripted. I do not sit and take long hours preparing these podcasts. I don't analyze and dwell on the things I'm going to say or I'm not going to say. I kind of flow with it. And I know there's a lot of very successful podcasts out there that put a lot of time and effort and production time into making something that is so precise, so unique, so special that you, the listener, is going to latch onto, and you're going to be like, wow, that was really good. Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait to tune in next week. And for yourself, you may or may not have that connection with me. You may like my style or you may not, but I know personally the only way to grow is to freestyle, is to go off the cuff, is to have some general ideas, but to speak from the heart, the soul, the gut, the loins that are within my body to connect with you. And I'm bringing a little bit of a unique, different approach. And it's funny because I've been receiving a lot of emails from you guys, and I appreciate it. And when I bring on an author of some sort, they forward me their book. Well, as you know, you can't really read, or I cannot read a book in a week or 2 weeks, even for that matter. I'm a busy guy. I have a lot of stuff going on. I can browse through it. I can look at chapters. You know what? Every once in a while, I have my father actually read the book and take some notes. So when it comes down to the interviewing process, I'm a little more prepared. But sometimes I don't have that time frame. So I'm kind of searching for questions as the conversation goes on. And they're saying, Jake, you know, to be better, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And I appreciate the suggestions. I appreciate the emails, because the only way to get better is to hear from you guys, the listeners, what I can do. And I've taken every single email to heart. I've taken every single suggestion to heart also, and trying to figure out the best plan of action. But I realize, though, that this is my best way to communicate, is to freestyle, is to have some general ideas and go with it. And it may not be right. It might not be 100% professional. It may not be exactly the way I want it to sound. And I say ums and and, you know, I stutter and I, you know, mess up on words. I say words that don't fit in the sentences. And that's okay to me, because I know that every single time I get on this microphone, every single time I decide to record a new podcast or to talk to somebody over Skype and record an interview, I am learning. I am growing as an individual, and I'm not maybe growing as fast as I could. Maybe I'm not becoming as professional as I will be, but I'm staying true to Jake Nawrocki. I am truly staying true to myself. And so that is the one thing that I can suggest to you guys, no matter it is what you start, what is the reason you are doing your certain things. If you want to become an entrepreneur, start a diet, or just discover your true self, be who you are, no matter what. Yes, you could always be more professional. Yes, you could wear a suit instead of that blazer. Yes, you could have ironed that shirt instead of worn it wrinkly, but that's who you are. If you are a sloppy dresser, and I hope you're not, because presentation is a big part of success, but that doesn't mean everything. Be who you are. If you always walk around with your shoelaces untied, have at it. Be yourself. And I think sometimes we try to go in these molds. Being a professional I want to be a motivational speaker, like I said. And to do that, I've been watching other motivational speakers, presenters, and I realize what they wear, how they present themselves, the way they're standing, mannerisms, do they change their voice and their tone? Do they reflect? Do they pause? All of the things that I'm trying to drink in so I am better off as a speaker. I'm starting to kind of put myself in that mold of, I need to wear a suit coat and jeans. I need to be wearing a watch. I need to be wearing a button-down shirt with one button open. But at the end of the day, I need to be Jake Naraki because I am the person that is presenting to you. Or I'm going to be the person presenting on, in front of an audience. And I need to feel comfortable in the skin I'm in. And too many times we try to portray and try to mold people into certain dynamics and allow them to kind of adjust to what we expect out of them. Now, if you work in a profession, if you are a banker, if you're in the business world, yes, do you need to look professional? Yes, because that is part of the criteria for being in that industry. But when it comes time to be yourself, to be that baker and go to those farmers markets and present yourself in front of people, be the true you. It's okay to put on, I work for the fire department. I have to wear a uniform. That doesn't mean that I'm going to wear my uniform sloppy. No, that means I'm going to wear it professionally because that is my job. That is what I do. I perform for the fire department. So I need to play the part, play the role, and look the part also. So the same applies to you. But when it comes to your side project, when it comes time to being yourself, be you. Okay, so that's all I can really say. And it doesn't have to deal with style. It can deal with your voice, your mannerisms, the way you interact, your ums, ahs, your imperfections, if you do or do not look at people when you talk to them. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing, stick to it. I'm not going to sit here and harp and say, no, these are the ways to do it. You know what needs to be done if you want to make connections, if you want people to like you. That's a whole nother topic. Because then you are going to have to, jazz yourself up. Then you're going to have to eye contact. Then you're going to have to shake their hand and meet and greet, make small talk, interact, socialize, all that stuff to make ends meet. But when it comes time just for you, whoever you are, be yourself. That's all I can say. So from there, that's the reason really why I started the podcast, and it has been going great, and it's funny to reflect because 50 episodes is actually a lot of work. I mean, over 1 year, I'm actually surprised I haven't done more podcasts. But as I kind of think for a second, I've done many podcasts that I've just deleted, that I flat out deleted and go, this is junk, this is garbage, and I'm not going to put this out there. But I realize over time my voice gets stronger, my mannerisms get sharper, my attitude and my thinking comes quicker, and that all comes to play because I decide to get on this microphone time in and time out. No matter if I'm happy or sad, things are going bad or good, I get on here to pump them out for you guys because I know what the end goal is. And I also know why I am doing this. What is my why? And a lot of people ask me, Jake, how do I find my passion? Where do I find my passion? What is passion? And passion, man, and I've said it a couple of times, and there's so many different ways to look at it. And I guess every time I hear a new way of what passion is, I kind of adjust towards the new way, and I kind of mix it with the old sauce I'll go with. And it kind of reminds me of something that Mike Rowe said. Mike Rowe is the guy from Dirty Jobs. I actually want to get him on this podcast because Mike Rowe goes out around America, and he talks with locals that do some pretty wild stuff for their job. Either it's shaving sheep, neutering cows, impregnating horses, cleaning submarines, cleaning out sub pumps, cleaning out anything and everything. He does the wildest, dirtiest stuff. That's why it's called Dirty Jobs. And Mike Rowe has a TED Talk, and he talks in there about finding your passion. And he goes, everybody wants to know what their passion is, how to find a passion. He goes, if you want to find your passion, see where everybody else is going and turn the other way. That's where the passion lies. Because Mike Rowe is hanging out with people that are doing stuff that you and I would probably never think of as a full-time job. I would never want to suck sewage out of a holding tank or go into a sewage holding tank and repair it. But people do that because people know that there's a need for it, and people are okay doing that. And that's totally fine if you are that guy or girl or family that owns that sewage sucking fixing company. That's totally fine. But that's not for me. And so Mike Rowe hangs around with these individuals. So he realized that finding passion, finding a purpose, finding something unique is seeing where everybody else is going and going the other way. And there's a lot to say about that. There's many ways that you can slice that cake. At first, it sounds good. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, all right, so I see everybody going to the business world. Well, I'm not going to go in the business world. Well, then what, right? So you got to find your strengths. You got to find your weaknesses. Find the things that you're interested in. Passion is something that you will identify when you find it. There is no workbook. There is no workshop. There is no YouTube video, course, guide, ideas to get yourself in the mindset of finding that passion instantly. Passion is all around you. Some people suggest that what you're doing right now for your job, what you're doing right now in your current position is your passion because it's what you're doing. It is something that you are fully invested in, something you know inside and out. Doesn't matter if you're working at an ice cream factory or if you're a CEO or a CFO of a big financial corporation. You know your job inside and out. That is your passion in some way. Is it something that you love to do? Is it something that you, oh my gosh, you wake up and are so excited to put on your outfit, your suit, whatever, and get out there and do it? No, it may not be. But some people suggest your passion is what you're already doing and love what you're doing. Be grateful for what you're doing. So there's many ways to kind of dissect passion. But I don't want to say that I want to get into the passion topic. I want to talk about what is your why. And this was brought up to me. Simon, oh man, I forget his name. His name is Simon. And he has a TED Talk called Finding Your Why. And it basically identifies what are you doing today to get you where you want to go. You wake up early to go to a job. Why do you work? Well, to have a house, to have fun on the weekends, to eat, to have a car, to dress fancy or not fancy, whatever it is. That's your why in a nutshell. Every single person on this planet has a different why. Some people go to work because they feel that they want to lead people. You know, that's their why. They want to feel in power. Okay, some people go to work and are assistants, and their why is they just want to help the people that are in charge because they don't want to be in charge, so they're going to help the people that are in charge. What is your why? And this can apply to entrepreneurs, business people, stay-at-home moms, or somebody like myself who's trying to get out there and hustle and finding and understanding what are you doing today to help you get where you want to go. I knew podcasting would help me grow as a speaker, as a presenter, as a person to harness my voice, and to allow myself to get in a position to go on out and speak in front of people and potentially down the road become a motivational speaker, get paid for speaking. That's my why. Now, let's go a little deeper into your why. So that's cool, Jake. Good for you. You have your passion. You figured out you want to be a motivational speaker, but what is the why? Well, my why is so I can continue to spread my voice. I want to get paid so I can travel and I can inspire other people. Why? Well, so then I am able to inspire those people that are listening to my stories, listening to my ideas and tips and suggestions, and the people that I have talked to on this podcast to help them grow as people to make their life that much better, that much happier, that much more grateful, maybe to inspire them to become a leader, to become an individual who wants more out of life. Why is that? Because then I know I will feel fulfilled. I know that I am truly making a difference in this world. I am not one to donate a lot of time to charities. I'm not one to go to food banks and help out. I am not that type of individual because I have a greater purpose. My purpose is to go on out and inspire people to help them get out of the slump, to get out of the mental mess that they are currently in, and to show them stories and ideas to break out of that mold and to allow them to become as successful as they want to become. And it's unique because that's my why. You know, it's unique to me because that's what I find empowering. That's my soup kitchen. That's my giving back. And you may be thinking, well, that's not really giving back. You're just doing it for yourself. You want to get paid and famous. No, it's not, because I've been asked numerous times, what do you want to do? You want to be famous because of this? You want to, star in movies? No, I don't. I want to have the influence that Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar has. And it's not because I want to become world famous. I don't want to become a household name. I want to be known as the guy that if you're down in the dumps, you can pop in my tape, you can go on my podcast, you can read my blog, you can watch my videos and go, damn, yeah, this guy gets it. Yeah, I can do that. Look at this guy, Jake. He's nobody. He started from nothing, and look at him grow. What you're doing right now is you're following me. You're hearing my voice transform over these podcasts. You're hearing me grow as an individual towards my goal, my dream, ambition, my passion, and my why. What is it that you are doing? What is your why? If your why is basic and simple and to the point, you just want to create a family, you want to go on trips, you want to show them the world, you want to just have a great, enjoying, fulfilling life, that's your why. Great. Applaud you. I applaud you. And by no means do I want you to start a corporation and really overextend yourself and all that stuff. I want you to have a fulfilling life. If that's your why, God bless you. Truly. But you're listening to this, though, for a reason, because you want a little more. You want a little more in your life, and you feel that I have the ability to open that up, to unlock the doors, to pull back the curtains, to identify with you those simple things that you can do to get yourself geared up. Life is challenging, and it's something that I keep on coming back to because I've gone through challenging times. And it's funny, when I told a lot of friends about this podcast and my ideas and what I want to obtain from doing this podcast, and they go, Jake, you have a great life. You have a family. Now I have a family. You have a good house. You have a good job. You have a lovely, like my sisters are great. My family, my parents are awesome. We go on trips. We're able to do a lot of things that I know a lot of people around the country, around the world are unable to do. And they go, Jake, what is your story? Like, you don't have any terrible, abusive relationship. You're, lost it all, and you're, eating at soup kitchens and, depressed and, all this stuff. I don't. I have all my fingers and toes. I'm mentally stable. I have ADHD. Okay, we'll go with that. I mean, I have some other hiccups in the road, but truly, I don't have anything that I can really lean on and say, this is my story. I've never gone through a terrible car crash. I've never gone through anything horrific enough that I can, that's why I started this podcast, or this is why I've started down this path of motivational speaking. I started it because I always knew that I could become a motivational speaker. I always knew that I wanted to become a person that you could pop on the tapes and get inspired. I don't know. I don't have any crazy story. And it sucks because people always ask me, well, Jake, what's your crazy story? Did you get in this complicated car crash and you're bleeding out and you use sap from a tree to close the wound on your head, and then you traveled through the forest and killed 4 bears and all this stuff? I don't have that. But along the way, I've acquired some pretty cool stories, some pretty cool learning lessons, and just like yourself, you have those stories too. And it's kind of cool to reflect on your past to help you in the future. But regardless, understanding your why, understanding the reason what you're doing is very, very huge. And the one other tip that I have for you, every single thing that you do in your life, a lot of people ask me, Jake, how do you keep doing these podcasts? How do you get on Facebook and emails? And oh my gosh, would you sleep? Do you stay up all night? What's your thing? How do you drink coffee? All that crazy stuff. Every time now, I don't know, for some odd reason, just recently, because my time has been very, very limited, every single thing I do now, is it for the greater good of my why? Like recently, somebody suggested, hey, let's go on this trip. And I think to myself, is this going to help me get to my why? Is a weekend away from podcasting, from learning and growing as a speaker, is this going to help me in the long run get to my why? It's not. So I had to cut it out. I've cut out so many different things in my life. I actually feel, sometimes I reflect and I feel sad. I've pushed away a lot of friends, and it's not that I pushed them away. It's just that I stopped answering the phone calls. I stopped hanging out with them. I stopped, doing different things with them because I know I want this so bad. And I reflect now and I think, man, I should really call up that guy and hang out with them. And sometimes I do, and I connect with a couple of friends still, but I don't go out anymore. I don't party. I don't go and have a couple of beers at the bar and reminisce and everything like that. I don't, because I know what my why is. And every single thing I do, every single minute that I have, I put it towards identifying my why. That's it. And if you can do the same, and if you go online, and sometimes I know the trap of YouTube, I know the trap of Facebook, you start scrolling, and you start seeing people's, updates, and I've gone here, I've gone there, look at us, we're hanging out tonight, look at this big feast of all these friends, and we're having a good time at a bonfire, and we're listening to music, dancing, and all that stuff. Do I want to do that? Heck yeah, I want to do that, but I got to identify what is my why, and the same applies to you. So when you jump on Facebook and you jump on YouTube, and if you know it starts to drag you down places that you don't want to go emotionally, mentally, and time-wise, you need to cut it out. Every time before you go on Facebook, what is the reason you're going on Facebook? Now, is it to check to see an event that you set up to see how many people are going? Sure, fair enough. Is it to see, hey, you wanted to check out, is your friend back from vacation? Sure, you can check that out quickly. But don't start scrolling down Facebook and YouTube and all of these other resources, because you're going to start burning time. Figure out every single thing that you do. Is it for your greater good of you? Is it for the greater good of your family? Is it for the greater good of you losing that weight? Every time you put something in your mouth, put it to your lips. Think to yourself, is this for the greater good of my goal? Whatever that is for you. And going off of that, I've identified that there are different techniques and ways to go about limiting things. Productivity is the number one topic that is talked about on podcasting. And it's because people are always looking for the secret sauce. People are always trying to identify, what is it that I can do right now to get the most out of the day? What is it that I can do right now to simplify my email list, to simplify my inbox, to simplify the chaos that I have on my desk? Everybody's looking for that simple tip. There is none. There's going to be tips and ideas that resonate with you, but there is no one trick pony. There is no one golden bullet. And I try searching for that all the time. I want to find that one remark, that one idea to help you get inspired and to dominate life, but I still can't find it. So every little thing that I can throw at you, I know a couple of things will stick. So I'm kind of rambling, I guess. And let's get back, though, on target here. And so let's reflect back to the 50 podcasts. And obviously you guys have seen me grow throughout this, and my life has changed, and I've pushed a lot of people out. And along with yourself, you're going to find that a lot of people are going to be questioning what you're doing and why. And it's okay. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be angry, disappointed, sad, questioning, kind of like, what the hell are you even doing this for? You're silly, stupid, all of those words and worse. They're going to be questioning that on top of you, and it's okay. What can I tell you to get over that? I don't. The only thing I can tell you is to laugh it off, is to brush it off, not make a big deal out of it. They might find out about your YouTube page. They might find out about your Facebook page. They might find out about your podcast. The other day at the firehouse, when I was walking into work, they started playing my podcast over the radio, the speakers and PA system, and all I could do was laugh. Was I embarrassed? Heck yeah, I was embarrassed. Was I kind of shy and bashful and kind of like, oh man, yeah, of course, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing it to prove anything to anybody. I'm following my dream, my ambition, and I'm following my why. I have a bigger purpose, and I know that, and I identify with it. So no matter how many people get in your way, no matter how many times they play your music on the loudspeaker, or play your voice, or read that book in front of you, or that blog post, whatever it is that you're doing creatively, different, something different, laugh it off, brush it off, and keep on pushing ahead. Because if I stop because of these people, what's the point? What's the point of this? What's the point of the last 50 podcasts? What's the point of struggling, trying to figure out how do you even do a podcast if it wasn't for myself? At the end of the day, every single thing that you do, it is for you. No matter what it is, you are in control of your life. You are the person that you can identify with and help along your journey. And again, I don't know what else to say. This podcast has been amazing. This journey has been amazing. You guys are truly amazing. I'm so blessed to have you guys a part of Operation Self Reset. I redid the website. I started a Facebook fan page. I have over 955 people on there. I'm so honored and blessed, and I'm exhilarated that you guys are taking the time and listening to these episodes. And it's really inspiring for myself, knowing that I am changing some lives out there. And for the people that have emailed me, thank you. And if you guys send me some really cool stuff, you guys resonate with the stuff that I'm throwing down. And I thank you for that. And no matter what happens, no matter if you find another podcast and you carry on, and I just hope that there's a couple of things that you take away from these episodes, from these interviews, to help yourself become your personal best. That's all I'm striving for, is for you to wake up tomorrow morning and to feel like, man, I'm going to do a reset. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to start kicking butt and taking names and start proving to myself, to my wife, to my family that I am capable of so much more. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm not the smartest kid on the block. I have my issues. I cannot spell for the life of me. I cannot do a lot of things when it comes to academics. I cannot pronounce complicated words. I'm embarrassed because I cannot say people's names, the ones that I struggle on. The way that it's written throws me off. I don't know if that's my wiring or if it's just my illiteracy, or if it's just the way that I am. But I'm comfortable with that. And I'm okay with that because I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And you need to identify them too. There's a great line out there. It's called "fake it before you make it." And maybe I'm trying to fake it a little too much. But I also understand that I need to fake it. Or wait, how does that work? I need to fake it before I can become it. And once you start faking that you are a smart individual, once you start faking that you are a great speaker, once you start faking that you do have your stuff together, you will become that individual. You become that person. I'm a big believer in the universe. I'm a big believer in identifying that you create everything that comes into your life. And it's complex to think about, and I'm not going to dive into it, but I truly understand that we are in control. I want to share that with you, and I want you to realize that you are awesome. You are capable of so much more than you even realize. Did you know that if you were thrown on an island today, and even though you had no skills of living off an island, no skills of identifying, are these blueberries poisonous or are they not? Identifying, is this animal good to eat or is it filled with chemicals or whatever? You will find a way to survive because our bodies are wired to survive. Plain and simple. Something gets thrown at your face, you put up your arms to protect your head. Anytime you get in a car accident, you freeze up because you try to lessen the blow to your neck and to your brain. Anything that happens to you in a horrible way, you protect yourself naturally, instinctively, because your body knows your brain is the center of everything that goes on in your life, everything that you believe in, everything that goes on, good or bad, that comes to you. If you protect your brain, you will continue to live. I don't know why I gave you that little tidbit, but there you go. That's it. So I'm going to stop rambling here, but all I can say is no matter what it is that you start, no matter what it is that you want to do in your life, understand what is your why. Why are you doing it? People are going to push you down. They're going to call you names. They're going to make you feel embarrassed. They're going to make you feel silly. They're going to question, why aren't you hanging out with me? You're going to even think to yourself, why don't I hang out with these people? I want to start having more friends again. But you got to keep on remembering, what is your why? I know my why. And I'm not saying that you need to find yours, but today, tomorrow, next week, sit down and maybe identify what is your why. Think of something that you want to do for yourself or your family, or for the next generations in the future. Figure out that why. Identify it, write it down, and keep it in a place that you can reflect on it. So when you are going through times of difficulty, times of questioning, is this the right decision for me? Times of, should I start a podcast or should I write that blog post? Think of your why, and it will lead you to a great direction. That's all I got for you guys. I'm sorry if this was rambling and didn't make sense, but it was truthful from the heart, from the gut, from my loins. I just hope it resonated with you. You guys are truly spectacular. You are awesome. You are a very unique individual, and I'm so happy and so honored to have you listening to my voice, going into your earbuds or into your car. And remember, this life is tough for everybody. It's not easy for some. Some were never given the opportunities that they had on a golden platter. Some of them had better opportunities. Some of us were given certain things to maybe get there quicker, but there's no reason why you cannot become the next blank, whatever it is that you want to become. Life is too short to be normal. Be extravagant. Be the best that you can be. And if you don't want to be the best for yourself, be the best for your wife, for your kids, or for your why. If you know your why, you will understand everything that happens to you, and you will have the best life possible. And it's okay if your why changes over time too. So don't feel like, oh, this is set in stone and whatever. Ideas change, hobbies change, creative thinking changes. All I can say is be your best every single day. Wake up with a purpose, wake up understanding your why, and go from there. Kick butt and take names. You guys rock. We will catch you in the next episode. It's actually going to be next week, Monday, a Motivational Minute. So thank you for all your support. 50 episodes to come. I'm going to be sticking with this project for 5 years plus, and I hope to continue to have you guys listen, and this will only grow with your support. And if you know somebody that could really use a little inspiration, a little motivation in their life, please suggest this podcast to them, or the Motivational Minute podcast, whatever you suggest. Word of mouth is the great advertisement ever. And also, too, join the Facebook fan page. Go to facebook.com/OSR fan page and join on up. Listen to the conversations, listen to the ideas and the thoughts and the processes that go into Operation Self Reset. You guys rock. We will catch you next week for another great episode. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Operation Self Reset podcast. Find out more ways to reset at www.osreset.com.